Good evening, everyone, and welcome your ultimate destination for all the most explosive, boundary-pushing, and headline-grabbing entertainment news from around the world. And tonight we have a story that will transport you back in time while launching us boldly into the future of cinematic history. In an announcement that's already shaking up Hollywood and thrilling Beatles fans worldwide, 4 major new films about the legendary Beatles have revealed their all-star cast. And trust me, you won't believe which iconic talents have been tapped to embody the Fab Four on the big screen. We're talking about a cast that includes normal people, and Gladiator 2 star Paul Mescal stepping into the shoes of Sir Paul McCartney, Barry Keoghan from Saltburn channeling the vibe of drummer Ringo Starr, Harris Dickinson, fresh off his work with Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl, taking on the role of John Lennon, and Joseph Quinn, who will be transforming from his Marvel days as part of Fantastic Four to portray the enigmatic George Harrison in this ambitious cinematic quadrilogy directed by the Oscar-winning Sir Sam Mendes. Tonight, over the next hour, we're going to break down every detail of this monumental casting announcement, the vision behind the films, how each actor was chosen to represent a Beatle, what this means for the future of Beatles storytelling, and why director Sir Sam Mendes believes these films are the first bingeable theatrical experience. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's journey together through the creative process that's about to redefine how we see the greatest band in history. It all started at CinemaCon in Las Vegas on Monday, where Sir Sam Mendes took center stage to announce a truly unprecedented project, a quadrilogy of major new films about the Beatles. Yes, you heard that right. 4 separate films, each focusing on the unique story of one of the band's members, with their lives told from their own perspective. In a press conference that blended reverence for the past with bold innovation. For the future, Sir Sam explained, the story of the Beatles is simply too vast and profound to be contained in one single film. We wanted to explore each individual's journey, a narrative that intersects and diverges in fascinating ways. With that, he unveiled an all-star cast that reads like a dream team for Beatles enthusiasts and film lovers alike. Among the first names announced were Paul Mescal and Barry Keoghan. Paul Mescal, whose breakout role in the BBC's Normal People captured hearts around the globe, will portray Sir Paul McCartney. Meanwhile, Barry Keoghan, one of Hollywood's brightest rising stars and known for his work in Saltburn, will take on the role of Ringo Starr, an assignment that, according to early reports, is a perfect match given his uncanny resemblance and the raw energy he brings to the screen. Joining them in this Fab Four ensemble is none other than Harris Dickinson, who has recently captivated audiences with his performances in films such as Baby Girl. Dickinson is set to embody the revolutionary spirit of John Lennon, a role that comes with the heavy task of portraying one of the most influential voices in modern music. Rounding out the quartet is Joseph Quinn, who has already made waves as Eddie Munson in Netflix's Stranger Things and is poised to reinvent himself as the quiet, soulful genius George Harrison. Quinn's transition from Marvel's Fantastic Four to the Fab Four is being hailed as one of the most exciting casting moves of the decade. Sir Sam Mendes, whose illustrious career includes films that have defined generations, explained that each film in the quadrilogy will be told from the perspective of one Beatle. They're 4 very different human beings. Mendes said, sometimes their stories will overlap, sometimes they won't, but together they will tell the story of the greatest band in history. Scheduled to be released in close proximity to each other in April 2028, this project is set to redefine the way we experience musical legends on screen. Let's dive deeper into the creative vision behind this ambitious project. The Beatles have long been a source of inspiration for filmmakers and musicians alike. Their music, their journey, and their cultural impact are unparalleled. However, as many of you know, previous films like Backbeat, Nowhere Boy, and I Wanna Hold Your Hand have only scratched the surface of what the band truly represents. Director Sir Sam Mendes believes that the story of the Beatles is simply too huge to fit into a single movie. He explained during the press conference, I just felt the story of the band was too huge to fit into a single movie, and turning it into a TV miniseries just didn't feel right. We wanted to give each member their own spotlight, a chance to explore their inner world, their struggles, their triumphs, and their contribution to the band's monumental legacy. This approach is revolutionary in its ambition. Each film in the series will focus on one Beatle, offering a deep, personal look at their lives. For example, imagine a film solely about Paul McCartney, delving into his journey from a working-class lad to a global musical icon, his creative genius, and the personal relationships that shaped his music. Or consider a film centered on John Lennon, exploring his radical ideas, his tumultuous personal life, and the enduring impact of his art on the world. The decision to split the narrative into 4 distinct films is not only a creative one, it's a strategic move to honor the complexity and individuality of each band member. The filmmakers are challenging the conventional way we tell historical narratives, pushing boundaries to create what Mendes describes as the first bingeable theatrical experience. This is a cinematic event that promises to immerse audiences in the rich tapestry of the Beatles' story like never before. Now, let's take a closer look at the stellar cast that has been announced for these films. Our modern-day Fab Four, whose talent and charisma are set to bring the Beatles to life on the big screen. Return. Paul Mescal as Sir Paul McCartney. Paul Mescal, the breakout star from Normal People and a rising force in cinema with his acclaimed work in Aftersun. And All of Us Strangers has Kearney Bertie Wostiyendi, has been cast to portray Sir Paul McCartney. At just 29, Mescal is already proving that he has the range and the depth needed to capture McCartney's evolution from a charming young musician to one of the most influential figures in music history. His previous roles have shown his ability to handle both intimate character studies and sweeping epics, making him the perfect choice to embody the creative spirit and resilience of McCartney. Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr. Next up is Barry. Keoghan, a name that has become synonymous with raw, unbridled talent. Known for his compelling performances in films like Saltburn and his recent Oscar nomination for The Banshees of Inisherin, Keoghan is set to take on the role of Ringo Starr. With his unique blend of charm and vulnerability, Keoghan is said to bear a striking resemblance to the beloved drummer. His casting is generating immense buzz, as many fans believe that his portrayal will capture Ringo's understated yet vital presence in the band. Harris Dickinson as John Lennon. Harris Dickinson, fresh off his powerful performance opposite Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl and known for his roles in Maleficent and Triangle of Sadness, has been chosen to play John Lennon. Lennon's character is arguably one of the most complex in Beatles history, a mix of genius, idealism, and deep personal turmoil. Dickinson's track record shows that he can tackle challenging, layered roles with finesse, and his performance is eagerly anticipated by fans and critics alike. His ability to convey both rebellious spirit and profound vulnerability makes him a compelling choice to bring Lennon's story to life. Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. Rounding out the quartet is Joseph Quinn, who recently made headlines as Eddie Munson in Netflix's hit series Stranger Things, and who is set to appear in Marvel's Fantastic Four: First Steps. Quinn will be taking on the role of George Harrison, the quiet, introspective Beatle whose musical genius and spiritual depth helped define the band's later years. At 31, Quinn represents a bridge between established stardom and the next generation of actors. His casting is particularly exciting as it promises a fresh interpretation of Harrison's character, one that honors his legacy while introducing him to a whole new audience. During the announcement at CinemaCon, Sir Sam Mendes expressed his excitement about the cast, noting that these 4 actors represent the future of storytelling while also paying homage to the legends of the past. On stage, the 4 stars even recited a few lines from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and executed a synchronized Beatles-style bow, an iconic moment that set the tone for what's to come. At the heart of this monumental project is director Sir Sam Mendes, whose illustrious career includes some of the most revered films in modern cinema. Mendes' vision for this quadrilogy is both bold and deeply personal. He explained at CinemaCon that the sheer scale and complexity of the Beatles' story demanded an innovative approach. They're 4 very different human beings, he said, and each film will tell the story from the unique perspective of just one of the guys. Sometimes their stories will intersect, sometimes they won't, but together they will tell the story of the greatest band in history. Mendes' comments reveal a commitment to exploring the intimate details of each character's life, their triumphs, their struggles, their dreams, and their demons. Unlike previous films that have tried to capture the Beatles' story in a single narrative, this project will allow audiences to dive deep into the individual journeys of each band member. It's a chance to understand them not just as icons, but as human beings with hopes, fears, and complex personalities. He also explained why he opted for a theatrical format over a TV miniseries. I just felt that turning this story into a miniseries wouldn't do it justice. The scope and emotion of what we're trying to capture are too huge for that format. We need big cinematic events, moments that get people out of the house and into the theater, where they can experience the magic of the Beatles in a way that is both immersive and unforgettable. Mendes' vision is ambitious, and the casting of such dynamic talents underscores his dedication to creating a series that is both historically respectful and innovatively fresh. It's a project that promises to challenge the conventions of biographical storytelling and set a new benchmark for cinematic events. No discussion of this project would be complete without a look back at the legendary history of the Beatles. Formed in 1960, the Beatles revolutionized music and culture, transforming the way we view popular music and youth culture. With albums like Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and The White Album, they not only broke records, but also redefined the possibilities of artistic expression. Despite splitting in 1970, the Beatles remain the biggest selling band of all time, and their influence continues to be felt across generations. Today, only 2 of the original members survive. John Lennon was tragically murdered in 1980, and George Harrison passed away in 2001, but their legacy endures through their music, their innovation, and the cultural revolution they ignited. This new project will be the first time that all 4 band members, along with their estates, have granted full life story and music rights for a scripted film. That in itself is groundbreaking, a rare convergence of art, commerce, and cultural heritage that promises to bring the Beatles' story to life in a way never seen before on the big screen. Director Sir Sam Mendes has boldly described this quadrilogy as the first bingeable theatrical experience. What does that mean? In a world where streaming and binge watching dominate our viewing habits, Mendes envisions a series of films that are interconnected yet distinct, each one inviting audiences to experience the epic narrative of the Beatles in a way that feels both serialized and complete. Imagine sitting in a dark theater, watching film after film that not only tells the story of one of the greatest bands in history, but also allows you to immerse yourself in the individual lives and personalities of its members. Each film will offer a different perspective with characters, relationships, and conflicts that intersect in fascinating ways. Sometimes the stories will overlap, and sometimes they will diverge, mirroring the complex, multifaceted reality of the Beatles' journey. The decision to release these films in proximity to one another in April 2028 is strategic, designed to create a cinematic event that captivates audiences over an extended period. It's a new model for storytelling, one that bridges the gap between traditional cinema and the binge-worthy nature of modern streaming series. Over the years, several films have attempted to capture the magic of the Beatles. Movies like Backbeat, 1994, which dramatized the band's early days in Hamburg, Nowhere Boy, 2009, which focused on John Lennon's formative years, and I Wanna Hold Your Hand, 1978, have all offered glimpses into the world of the Beatles. There's also Martin Scorsese's documentary, George Harrison, Living in the Material World, 2011, and Peter Jackson's epic restoration in Get Back, 2021. Yet none of these projects has ever had the full backing of all 4 estates, or the creative freedom to explore the entire life and legacy of the band in one comprehensive, interconnected narrative. This quadrilogy is the first of its kind, a bold, all-encompassing cinematic event that promises to do justice to the enormity of the Beatles' influence on music, culture, and society. By focusing on each member's individual story, this project not only pays tribute to the rich history of the Beatles, but also acknowledges that their collective impact is the result of the unique contributions of each man. It's a refreshing approach that offers fans the opportunity to connect with their idols on a deeper, more personal level, an experience that is both nostalgic and forward-thinking. Let's take a closer look at our modern Fab Four, starting with Paul Mescal and Barry Keoghan. Paul Mescal, at 29, has already captured the hearts of audiences worldwide with his role in Normal People and his compelling performances in critically acclaimed films like Aftersun and All of Us Strangers. His portrayal of Sir Paul McCartney promises to be a masterful blend of charm, intelligence, and creative genius, a fitting homage to one of the most beloved figures in music history. Meanwhile, Barry Keoghan, 32, is stepping into the shoes of Ringo Starr. Known for his breakout roles and his magnetic screen presence, Keoghan bears a striking resemblance to the legendary drummer. His casting is generating tremendous buzz, as fans eagerly anticipate his take on a character who is known for his understated cool, his humor, and his essential role in the rhythm of the Beatles. Together, these two actors embody the spirit of the Beatles in different yet complementary ways. Their performances will likely set the tone for the rest of the quadrilogy, offering a modern interpretation of timeless legends. It's a thrilling prospect that promises to reinvigorate the legacy of the band for a new generation of fans. Next in our star-studded lineup is Harris Dickinson, who will portray John Lennon. Dickinson, a rising star known for his work in films, such as Baby Girl, brings an intensity and depth to every role he plays. Lennon, with his complex personality, radical ideals, and emotional vulnerability, is a character that demands nuance and authenticity, qualities that Dickinson is renowned for. His portrayal is expected to delve into Lennon's inner conflicts, his ideals, and the revolutionary spirit that defined his life and music. Rounding out the Fab Four is Joseph Quinn, who is set to play George Harrison. Quinn, who gained widespread recognition for his role in Netflix's Stranger Things and for his performance in Marvel's Fantastic Four projects, will bring a fresh, dynamic energy to the role of the quiet, introspective Beatle. Harrison's legacy is one of understated brilliance and soulful introspection, and Quinn's ability to convey deep emotion and subtle complexity makes him the perfect choice for this iconic role. This acting supergroup not only promises to deliver powerful performances, but also represents a bold new chapter in Beatles storytelling. Each actor has been carefully selected for their unique talents and their ability to connect with the spirit of the character they are about to portray. At CinemaCon, the excitement was palpable as Sir Sam Mendes joined the four actors on stage. And for the cast reveal, in a moment that felt like a fusion of theatrical tradition and rock star cool, Mescal, Keoghan, Dickinson, and Quinn took turns reciting lines from the Beatles' classic song Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. They then executed a perfectly synchronized Beatles-style bow, a moment that sent the crowd into a frenzy and symbolized the merging of past and present. This on-stage performance wasn't just a promotional stunt, it was a powerful statement about the future of Beatles storytelling. It conveyed that these films will not simply rehash old stories, but will instead reimagine the legacy of the Beatles in innovative, exciting ways. The energy, passion, and camaraderie displayed by the cast underscored the significance of this project, a cinematic event that promises to be as emotionally resonant as it is visually stunning. No project of this magnitude would be possible without the visionary leadership of Sir Sam Mendes. Known for his Oscar-winning work and his ability to craft narratives that resonate deeply with audiences, Mendes has set out to create a cinematic experience that transcends traditional biopics. In his own words at CinemaCon, Mendes explained that he wanted to tell the story of the Beatles in a way that goes beyond mere nostalgia. I wanted to delve into the human aspects, the joys, the struggles, the contradictions of these four very different individuals, he said. Each film will offer a window into their souls, allowing us to see them as real people with flaws and brilliance in equal measure. Mendes' vision is to create not just a film, but an experience. A series of interconnected stories that invite audiences to binge watch and immerse themselves in the legacy of the Beatles. His innovative approach is a response to the limitations of single-film narratives, and it promises to redefine the way we experience historical storytelling on the big screen. The films are slated to be released in close proximity to one another in April 2028. This coordinated release strategy is designed to create a cinematic event that captivates audiences for an extended period, a true bingeable theatrical experience that invites viewers to journey through the lives of the Beatles in a new, multi-dimensional way. The idea is to have each film stand on its own, while also contributing to a larger narrative tapestry. As audiences watch one film after the next, they'll begin to see how the individual stories of Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, John Lennon, and George Harrison intersect and diverge. This approach not only honors the complexity of the Beatles' history, but also sets a new benchmark for serialized storytelling in cinema. Industry insiders are already buzzing about the potential cultural impact of this release. With the global legacy of the Beatles and the enormous fan base that spans generations, these films have the potential to be among the biggest cinematic events of the decade. Sir Sam Mendes' ambition, combined with a cast of extraordinary talent, promises to deliver a project that is both a tribute to musical history history and a bold reimagining of a cultural phenomenon. Over the years, numerous films have attempted to capture the magic of the Beatles, from Ian Softly's Backbeat to Peter Jackson's epic Get Back on Disney+. Yet despite these efforts, the complete story of the Beatles has never been told in its entirety on a single platform. Previous projects have often focused on a specific period or aspect of the band's history, leaving many fans longing for a more comprehensive narrative. This new quadrilogy is set apart by its ambitious scope. For the first time, all 4 band members and their estates have come together to grant full life story and music rights for a scripted film project. This means that every aspect of the Beatles' legacy, from their early days in Hamburg to their global domination and eventual split, will be explored in rich, intricate detail. By dedicating an entire film to each member, the project promises to dive deep into the individual personalities and experiences that made the Beatles who they are. It's a groundbreaking approach that goes beyond surface level nostalgia, offering audiences a chance to truly understand the human side of these cultural icons. In doing so, the films are set to be not only a celebration of the band's history, but also a meditation on the transformative power of music and art. Of course, no Beatles project would be complete without a nod to the music that changed the world. The Beatles' discography is filled with timeless classics. Albums like Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and The White Album have left an indelible mark on popular culture. The filmmakers have secured full music rights, ensuring that the films will feature original recordings and, in some cases, never before heard material. This level of access is unprecedented, and it allows the project to present an authentic auditory experience that will transport audiences back to the golden era of the band. Imagine hearing the intricate layers of a classic Beatles track as it plays during a pivotal scene, or witnessing a beautifully choreographed musical montage that encapsulates the energy and emotion of the 1960s. The music isn't just a backdrop, it's a central character in the story, a powerful force that underscores every moment and ties the entire narrative together. So Sir Sam Mendes has emphasized that the films will be a full sensory experience, a journey that combines stunning visuals, compelling storytelling, and of course, the iconic sounds of the Beatles. It's this blend of art forms that promises to create a truly immersive cinematic event. As we look to the future, it's worth reflecting on why the Beatles continue to hold such a powerful place in our collective imagination. Formed in 1960, the Beatles transformed youth culture and redefined the boundaries of music and art. Their innovative approach to songwriting, their fearless experimentation in the studio, and their ability to capture the spirit of an era have made them timeless icons. Despite the passage of decades, their music remains as fresh and influential as ever. New generations continue to discover their work, and their legacy is evident in the music of countless contemporary artists. This enduring impact is a testament to their genius, a genius that the upcoming films aim to capture and celebrate in a way that is both historically accurate and emotionally resonant. By exploring the personal stories of each band member, these films will offer a deeper understanding of how the Beatles changed the world. They will reveal the human side of these legends, their hopes, fears, challenges, and triumphs. In doing so, the project is not just about reliving the past, it's about understanding the cultural forces that continue to shape our lives today. And that, dear viewers, brings us to the end of tonight's deep dive into the most electrifying Beatles project of our time, a quadrilogy that promises to be as groundbreaking as the band it celebrates. And it has been my absolute pleasure to guide you through every twist, every detail, and every burst of excitement surrounding this monumental announcement. From the visionary approach of director Sir Sam Mendes to the stellar casting choices of Paul Mescal, Barry Keoghan, Harris, Dickinson, and Joseph Quinn, and the promise of a cinematic experience that will be remembered for decades, this project is set to redefine what we know about the Beatles and their legacy. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this ambitious new project? Which Beatle are you most excited to see brought to life on the big screen, and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's continue this conversation together. Your insights, your passion, and your love for music and film are what keep our community vibrant and engaged. If you enjoyed this comprehensive report, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another sensational update from the world of entertainment. Thank you for joining me tonight. Stay inspired, keep exploring, and remember, the legacy of the Beatles lives on in every note, every lyric, and every unforgettable cinematic moment. Good night, and until next time.